It's not that often I sit down and reflect on how life used to be. At least not anymore. The good old days dwindle away quite rapidly as life doesn't wait for us to catch up. You see, sometimes when life goes by so quick, you start to realize how much things have changed, but yet how much they've stayed the same. Fallout 4 is a very sentimental game to me. There was so many things happening in my life during the time I was playing Fallout 4, and it was truly something special to me for its time. I miss Fallout 4. I really do. But I just don't know why. How do you miss something that you have access to? How is it that you miss something that is right in front of your face? Was it that I missed experiencing a story I was able to make on my own, but not really because the dialogue was really just different ways of saying yes? Was it maybe the fact I spent hours on hours in this single-player world getting attached to my character and companions? Maybe. There was a lot to Fallout 4, and it was the first Fallout game I really dove deep into. I loved my time playing it so much I went for 100% achievements until some of the DLC came out. I know life the shit out of this game, so how is it that when I go back to play it, I just turn off the game after 10 minutes? I began to wonder more and more, if I miss the game so much, then why can't I enjoy playing it now? The game isn't that dated, the lore was great, and the gameplay loop was enjoyable. Nothing like having another settlement needing my help. And it wasn't till the other day, when I booted up my old save file, that everything hit me. I walked around my old builds. Hangman Alley was always one of my proudest achievements. It just looked so cool to my 16-year-old self. The castle was also one of my most proud builds. I probably slept with Piper there more times than I did Hancock back in Sanctuary. I took a look at my inventory and admired the best weapons in the game that I've defeated so many opponents with. The Pussy Destroyer 420 was always my main go-to. It was my most beloved possession. I remember taking out Deathclaws with that thing like it was nothing. Exploring the glowing sea was just a power trip when wielding it. But even when I go back and replay this game, I try my best to relive some of these moments, and I just can't. You see, Fallout 4 was far more than just a game for me. It was a bond between friendships, a gathering of some of my favorite memories. It was a whole ass era of my life. This game helped me figure out who I was and who I wanted to be. I used to go to my buddy's house for days on end just playing Fallout 4. There was 3 of us. We met our freshman year in high school and began bonding over how much we actually liked Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, I know you're judging, but fuck off, it was actually good. We ordered pizza all of the time from a local mom and pop's place. We ordered so often they knew our phone number as soon as it popped up on the order. We all stayed up playing Fallout 4, each discussing the decisions we made and our character stats. Talked all night about lore and some DLC ideas that would make the game even better than it already was, and before we knew it, the sun was up and it was 7 in the morning. We would usually rock about 2 to 3 hours of sleep and then get ready to start our day again. And our days usually consisted of playing Pokemon Go outside and walking to the closest gas station about a half-mile away. We'd get 2 bags of pizza rolls and all other sorts of junk foods. Come to think of it, how am I not diabetic? We would stock up for the night with 12 packs of Dr. Pepper and Diet Mountain Dew, cookies and candy bars to hold us over for the long night we had ahead of ourselves. Times were simple back then. We didn't have a job, didn't have a care in the world. I mean, it was summer 2016 and memes were at the absolute peak that they've ever been at, so there was nothing that could go wrong. Though Fallout 4 was a single-player game, my friends took on the wasteland with me, right next to me, on a different monitor. We shared the same laughs and even explored the same areas at the exact same times. I would hunt for the same loot and do the same quests, but compare the decisions we made. But because the game doesn't actually have choice, all decisions we made had the same outcome. But we didn't care. One of the best moments I had with Fallout was talking to my buddy about how much he wanted a legendary weapon, and as he was telling me, I killed a legendary ghoul and he dropped the exact weapon my buddy was talking about. It was pure jealousy, the reaction on his face. That moment has become priceless, as so many others of that time period has. The night that Far Harbor dropped was one of the best nights of my life. The weather was beautiful, so we all had the windows cracked, and it was 12 at night and we all just waited for the DLC to drop. The sound was pitch quiet outside, but we couldn't stop talking about the endless possibilities and new quests. Now that I look back on it, the sound of silence that night outside was deafening. I didn't notice it then, but the end of the good old days were rapidly approaching. My buddy's house that we always stayed at was up for sale for a while now. We knew people were interested, but didn't ever think it would sell. Thankfully, my buddy didn't move too far, but when he moved out of that house, the memories stayed behind. Gone were the days of walking to the local gas station and stocking up for our journey in the wasteland for the night that followed. The times playing Pokemon Go in the neighborhood, and that time we all tried smoking weed at his local park, those memories were gone. Our LAN party setup was gone, and so began the cracks in our friendship. My other buddy who didn't host the party started focusing on other friends and getting a job with his family. My friend's new house wasn't too far from mine, but it wasn't the same anymore. There was never a time after that where the three of us all hung out together at the same time again. I knew what was coming, but I didn't want to admit it. A few months go by of us hanging out less and less, and soon I hear the last, "I'll see you again next weekend, right?" But next weekend never came. Years went by and I walk into my film literature class the last semester of senior year. I sit right next to my friend whose house I'd be at every weekend for years before, but we're not the same people anymore. By this time we both had jobs and girlfriends and life was different. So much so, he was practically a stranger. As for my other friend, I just hardly saw him around. My high school held 4,000 students my senior year, so coming across a friend wasn't always as common as you'd think. We talked a bit in class, but not like we used to. And once senior year ended, I remember congratulating both of my friends on graduating. I didn't say it to them, but I knew that was goodbye. There's this quote that I love from one of the Assassin's Creed games, and it goes, "What is a man but the sum of his memories? We are the stories we live, the tales we tell ourselves." This quote has always impacted me, made me think of the exact stories I'm sharing now. Fallout 4 may have just been a video game, but it brought together a part of my life that helped define the man I am today. I'm forever grateful for the days of old, but as I grow older, it's important to not forget the simple things in life that made us who we are. I miss Fallout 4, and I finally know why. Thank you guys so much for listening. A bit different to the videos I usually make, but the script for this one was an absolute blast to write. As for an update on my old friends, one is enlisted in the military, while the other one is currently attending college, but is actually also enlisting soon as well. I don't keep in touch with these guys too often, but wouldn't trade the memories for the world. So when I send the two of you the links to this video, if you made it to the end, just know I'm grateful for you fuckers. If any of you listening enjoyed the video, please do me a favor and leave a like and subscribe. It helps me stay motivated with putting out projects like this one, all while living my day-to-day life. I have another video planned soon, so until next time, piss off.